Hey guys, welcome back to the most elaborate TCG ever, hopefully. And this is going to be part 2. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll have a link in the description, and you should definitely watch that before watching this. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Today we're going to be discussing the win condition, the board, and some concept cards. So, first thing we're going to do is the board. Now, the board is maybe going to be 25 by 25. It's not completely determined yet, and it's kind of weird because there's not really any TCGs with boards, but I think it'll work. I'm not sure. So basically, it'll have some buildings predetermined on it, probably randomly, but I'm not sure how to do that yet, just like a lot of things. Probably some ruins, but mostly it'll be empty space. Like, this is pretty massive. I was planning on making it 50 by 50, but I think that'd be way too big. So yeah. And the win condition is the board will have a lot of resources available on it, like spawnables. Like, let's say there's like a restaurant here. This is in a city. There's a restaurant here. There's like a garbage can on this specific tile, and every 5 turns it spawns, I don't know, like spaghetti or something. And your souls can use that. They can eat that. And you can obviously make your own food producing buildings, like we'll get into one later. And basically, the goal of the game is to outlast your opponent by starving them out until they don't have enough resources to summon more souls or items, and they can't use any souls or items to get resources. So basically, they're bankrupt, and they can't do anything. They're kind of like at a stalemate. So it's not really about attacking your opponent. There's a lot of different strategies you can use, like maybe like monopolizing the food or destroying the food and having like a really small fleet of souls so you don't have to feed them as often. And then your opponent has a bigger fleet and they have to feed a lot more, and the food is all destroyed, so you outlast them. I don't know. There's a lot of different things you could do. So that's how you win. It's obviously pretty broad. It's not like none of this is really completely determined. This is all just concepts until I get some more stuff down. But let's move on to the concept items, souls, events, and constructs. I made 2 souls because last time we discussed this scenario and I had to make 2 souls for that. And I made 1 of everything else. So the souls are, I'm going to have to try to base them like on real life sort of, but also on mythology, like Greek mythology or Roman mythology, something like that. I don't know, like maybe Medusa or something. It really depends, like how it fits. I don't know what the theme of this game is yet. I mean, souls and constructs kind of sound like mythology, like Egyptians or something. I don't know. But yeah, anyways, so mobility and speed are like, they're in terms of tiles, and yes, like 1 mobility means 1 tile. So the Raven has 2 mobility, so it can go 2 tiles, and speed is 3. And basically how these work, I don't know if I discussed this last time, but let's say you were here, you wanted to move to like over the other side for some reason, I don't know why, but and you went 2 because your mobility. But let's say the next turn you continued in that direction. Now, since your top speed is 3 and your acceleration is 2, that's basically what these mean. Then if you move 1, 2, the next turn you move in the same direction, you can move 1, 2, 3 because that's its top speed. If you turn, it goes back, it resets, or if you go backwards or anything like that, or if you stop for 1 turn, then it resets back off your top speed. But yeah, power is just how much damage it does per attack. It's pretty self-explanatory. Attack speed is 3 times per turn it can attack. Defense is basically how much damage is nullified. I'm just like trying to re-explain this stuff. Like nullified, like if you took 2 damage and you had 2 defense, it basically just wouldn't do anything. You'd still have 2 defense. HP is how much damage it can tank before dying. Intimidation is complicated. I'm not going to explain it again. Just go back to the last video. And climbing, it's no climbing because it can fly. And 5 intelligence, I'll also explain that in the last video. Hunger needs 1 piece of food per turn to survive. So it has 2 mobility because it's pretty fast, but not super fast because it's a raven. Like, obviously it can fly, so it's pretty fast. And its top speed isn't that much better because it can fly. I feel like you can go like accelerate pretty fast, but it doesn't have that much of a top speed. It has a low power but a higher attack speed. I don't know. I feel like that's what a Raven would have. Low defense, low HP, low intimidation, and a decent amount of intelligence, because ravens are pretty smart. The next soul is house cat. It has slightly less mobility, but a higher top speed, because it can't fly, but I feel like they could go faster. It has much higher power, but a lower attack speed by a little bit, but obviously this would be way better in combat, the house cat. It has a higher defense, not super high obviously because it's just a cat. Cats are pretty good, but not this good. And it has a higher HP, has a higher intimidation, and it has 2.5 climbing. That's basically how many tiles up it can climb, so if there's a building 3 tiles high, it won't be able to get to the top. So that's that. I'm probably going to give them unique abilities, just it hasn't happened yet. Slightly less intelligence, but again, house cats are also quite smart. And more hunger because it's bigger. So construct is a bakery. It costs 5 stone. Again, I don't know how you're going to get stone. It's probably going to spawn around the map. There's going to be like mines or something, and then certain souls can collect it. I don't know. And it has the buff of production, which I explained last time. And it basically can take in resources and output other resources. It has 10 integrity, so it has to take 10 damage at once for it to be destroyed. And its size is 1, so it's only 1 tile. And it requires a temperature of at least 30 to function. That's just like kind of a global thing. I'm not sure what the temperature will start at yet. Probably like 20, 25, I don't know. And for every bundle of... That's Celsius, by the way. For every bundle of grain put into it, you're probably also going to be able to get that around the map. It'll produce 3 loaves of bread in 2 turns. So, like, once 2 turns is over, 3 loaves of bread. It's not like a... it's all at once. And each loaf counts for 3 hunger. Item is time warp, and it costs X hourglasses. Again, I have no clue how you're going to get hourglasses. Probably off a construct. And it's perishable, which means it's one-time use. And its effect is choose to fast forward or rewind time X amount of days for a specific soul. That soul could have numerous effects depending on abilities and active items. And yeah, this is going to be really complicated because like it's basically just going to be a unique interaction for every soul, every item. That's going to be very complicated. But again, that's the point. And it doesn't really do anything yet, like the Raven. I don't know, depending on the age or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, doesn't really do anything yet, but it will. Event. I couldn't really think of an event, so this is kind of lame, but it's global warming, increased temperature by 10. So maybe you could like do that so you could get your bakery down. Seems kind of excessive just for one bakery to warm the entire earth, but yeah, whatever. And you must have at least 5 production constructs, because like smoke and everything, and yeah. And basically that's one thing for each. I'm probably next episode, because I have pretty much the foundation now. I'm just going to be pumping out like interactions, items, souls, stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little longer than last episode, less edited, but that's probably how they're going to be from now on, because yeah, there's just a lot of information to cover. Okay, see you guys.